Hello, I'm Matt Guff from thehouse.com, and this is a Burton Fish snowboard. This is a Pow Cruising Deck for those intermediate to advanced level powder hounds that really like getting into the deep stuff. Don't get me wrong, you can still rock this thing on corduroy too. I had a blast. One of my most favorite powder days was last season at the USASA National Championships at Copper Mountain. I was out there with the Vision Elite snowboard team, and Copper just kept getting dumped on, and I was riding Custom X, and then I decided to pull the fish out, and I kid you not, it was one of the most glorious times of my life. If you ever get a chance to ride powder with the fish, you'll never regret it. The fish is a great pow deck. It does, of course, have a directional shape, and there's a big setback stance of 50 millimeters and a huge 30 millimeter taper. You'll notice how big that scooped out nose is. It definitely keeps above the fluffy white stuff. There is an S-rocker profile, but this is a little bit different than last year. Even though it's still called an S-rocker profile, there's a very, very minimal camber underneath this back foot, and then there's just a slight rise of the nose. It's not as dramatic as it was in years past. It does also have a Rad Docking Technology, which means that you can downsize this board 3 to 6 centimeters. Along with that is a double swallowtail. I'd still just call it like a regular swallowtail, but Burton calls it a double swallowtail. There is a directional flex to it. The tail is going to be slightly stiffer than the nose. Overall, the thing will probably have a flex rating right around a 5, maybe even a 6. Inside is a Superfly 2 dual zone EGD core. But you know, one thing that's unique about this board compared to some other manufacturers is that Burton builds these things up really well, and it actually has a lot of pretty high-tech technology like Tri-X fiberglass and a carbon I-beam that actually sits in between your feet that give the board enough response and pop when you're just kind of cruising around and want to snap a nice little ollie. A lot of other boards are like a little bit too soft for powder and almost kind of mush in too much. This thing really does float like a dream. The base will stay fast. It's a sintered WFO base. Make sure you wax it up. Again, this is the Burton Fish snowboard, one of the most awesome boards you can ride in powder, and of course you can still ride it on corduroy. Check it out at thehouse.com.